Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Teenage Wasteland, sea of tents and plastic rubbish is all that remains after revelers leave Leeds Festival. And this is a fine example of one rule for thee and another for me. As we all know, this is going to be white middle-class socialites and the children of them who are doing this, and they're going to be Extinction Rebellion members, but when they don't think anybody's watching, they don't really care. So impact on environment laid bare after Leeds revelers discarded thousands of tents as festivals drew to a close, and often on these, this is the first time they've been used. Bramham Park in Leeds is strewn with rubbish, camp chairs, mattresses, duvets, clothes, and plastic bottles. Social media users slammed lazy little out who couldn't be bothered to throw rubbish away or recycle tents. Yeah, recycle or just reuse. Reuse is better than recycling. Recycling is basically a scam because you sell it off to China hoping that they'll deal with it, but they're becoming annoyed and not wanting to buy it from us anymore. And all they do normally is they just burn it or put it in their rivers. As you know, there's one in China, one in India, which is responsible for most of the contamination and pollution. So don't get me started on that. Oh, and what about glass, which is just sand? It's like, yeah, it's better for the environment to just destroy it and then make some new ones. And yeah, China doesn't want it anymore, especially with the trade war with America. So as they're closing down interest on buying off our crap, what's going to happen then? Because about 40% of the stuff you think you're recycling isn't recycled anyway, because anything you put into recycling then has to be processed by people further on down the line. And what about New York, where they have to put cardboard out in plastic packaging, and if they don't, it's a $250 fine, I believe? It's ridiculous. And yeah, this festival isn't the only one. The Sun newspaper said that after Glastonbury in 2017, it cost £785,000 and 6 weeks in order to clean up the mess. So if you're going to be tidier, then that's going to make your tickets cheaper as well. But I have some solutions coming up as well, but let's see the photos first. So as they return home following a heavy weekend of intense raving, festival goers have left a disgraceful sea of plastic and rubbish in their midst. Here we have the impact of single-use plastic is laid bare with water bottles, plastic tents, and cosmetics containers seen littering the field, as well as drugs and alcohol. But we'll get to that. So here's one photo, and here's another. Jeepers. It's ridiculous, isn't it? The absolute carnage. What aftermath is this? So they say the charity, and there's a charity set up for this. That's how bad it is. Everything is Possible, which was set up in 1999, will be scouring the site for useful items to pass on to the homeless. Tents. And those with drug or alcohol problems. Drugs and alcohol. There'll be loads of that. But no, it's just to help people get back on their feet, I'm sure. Because there are mattresses as well, because it's basically glamping. It says that often the equipment has only been used for one weekend. Well, exactly. I'm sick of recycling, but reusing. That's a good idea. Festival organisers, say they put together a salvage operation after the 3-day event for organisations to collect some of the reusable camping equipment that is left behind in a bid to reduce the amount of waste that goes to landfill or incineration. Yep. But social media users have hit out at people who left the site strewn with single-use plastic and rubbish, telling them to consider the consequences of your actions. And how many of these were probably part of the people who left this behind? Virtue signalling costs nothing. So much easier, isn't it, than actually tidying up after yourself? Wow. Plus, I'm sure most of you as well, you wouldn't feel comfortable leaving that much money behind with the value of tents as well. But hey, if you're middle class or upper class, it doesn't matter, does it? Just do that. I know Jack D did a skit about that. He said his daughter who took the tent, and then she came back and he's like, "Where's the tent?" And, "Oh, it's just parting. We left it there." It's like, no, that was a nice tent. Why'd you leave it? It's just the atmosphere there. We have some white guys beforehand, and we have some white women later on. The ambulance for paramedics who were seen on the site of Leeds Festival on Saturday after a 17-year-old girl from Oldham died of a suspected drugs overdose. There we are. There were many drugs there. They're saying there were so many abandoned tents, from small pop-ups to huge 8-person tents. Rubbish scattered everywhere despite rubbish bags being available in the campsites. The amount of air mattresses and camp chairs scattered around, duvets purchased then left. Well, exactly. Glamping, essentially. She said, "You need to think of the global scale. The average tent has enough plastic equivalent to 8,750 plastic straws." Cool. So I'm going to reuse my tent and I don't care about using plastic straws. Should get some from Trump. Or 250 plastic pint cups. I don't drink. We go on about reusable straws, yet people will happily leave their tents to go into landfill, adding to that plastic problem. Yeah, because if you don't have the money, then you're going to reuse stuff, aren't you? If you have to pay for it yourself, you know the value of money. It's like what the Democrats said recently. It's like, yes, well, we need this immigration from Mexico and the third world and low-income countries, because who else is going to cut our lawn and clean our toilets? So yeah, it's the jobs being done by young people, ideally. It's just to give them a value of money. Ideally, then they could pay their way through college or just afford whatever hobbies they have. buying a video game, maybe. You know, get young people doing that instead of relying on the poor income countries not to take care of it. It's like, yeah, get your own child to cut your lawn. Jesus. But hey, we knew that beforehand, that the Democrats is just the elite, isn't it? Jeez. Rowan Jade wrote on Twitter, so sad that Truman Black literally begged us on stage to leave our campsites clean and everyone screamed in approval, yet the campsite is still left like this at Leeds. How hard is it to pick your rubbish up? Breaks my heart. And here we have the white ladies here. How many of those are out of their minds? But nonetheless, we do have some solutions. So we say that the dirtiest here from NME, the Reading and Leeds was just third on their list we have here, but we have some who are doing it right. So we have here from Boardmasters 2018 about surfing and skating. They have a photo